Yeah, so we're talking about the black phone and producers, distributors. Just understand, we do this the last Sunday a month. So if you can time any future releases for like that Friday, it'll be spot on. Just bit of consideration.
Perfect.
We have ones of people that watch this show, so it'd be well worth your time just to make sure it happens.
It really would, because then we're still fresh about it. Like, I saw this less than 12 hours ago, so it's still up there.
Yeah, because it's not once it hits 1 week or 2 week, and you can't go back in and like just play it again. It's a hassle. It's hard to remember stuff, but holy shit, was I surprised?
Yeah, this was like Blumhouse. It's usually hit or miss, like with their original IPs, and goddamn, this one was definitely a hit. Like, I was so nervous. There were so many things about this that seemed perfect that it's like, fuck, it is probably gonna suck.
You were just waiting for the other shoe to drop?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, like, right up until the end, I'm like, alright, what? This can't be this good. Like, honestly, my only bitch bit with this was the mask. I thought the mask was fucking stupid and pointless. Other than that, this movie was perfect.
I like the second mask. There's like 3 masks in this, isn't there? It's definitely 2 different ones. There's
3 different mouthpieces.
Yeah. I like the second one. I would like to actually get the second one, the one with the horns, and it didn't have the facial expression. I think it was the second time he came down the stairs. I want that one.
No, that was the first time where it was just the blank mouth.
Yeah, the blank mouth one. I like that one.
Yeah, that was the very beginning. Like, that was the first time we actually see the mask, I thought. But yeah, I don't know. I just felt like it was unnecessary. Like, we already know the guy's crazy. Does he really need a mask?
I don't know. I like the makeup. Anyway, just to give a bit of premise, The Black Phone is a 2021 American supernatural horror film directed by Scott Derrickson and written by Derrickson and C. Robert Cargill, who both produced with Jason Blum. It's an adaptation from a 2004 short story of the same name by Joe Hill, which I think I want to check that out now that I've seen this here.
Anything Joe Hill, man, I love that man.
Yep. The film stars Mason Thames, Madeline McGraw, Jeremy Davis, James Ranson, and Ethan Hawke. In the film, an abducted teenager used a mysterious phone to communicate with the previous victims of his captor. That's what I remember saying. It got the Lovely Bones sort of vibe from this, just with the premise.
I really had to dig back to the memory banks. I'm like, I know that sounds familiar, but did I see it? And then I remember, oh yeah, I saw it when it came out in 2009.
Yeah, which actually for Peter Jackson after Lord of the Rings, it was a bit of a sort of darker twist, bit of a shock. But holy shit! Imagine getting child actors right.
Yeah.
For once,
there's not a single kid phoning it in this fucking movie.
Especially
the girl, man. She was
the one that plays Gwen.
Yeah, Gwen, amazing. Best actor in the entire movie.
Here's the thing. That's how you do female empowerment, right? That's how you write a strong female character without.
You write them as a character.
Yeah, you write them as a character, and you don't have to put the message, or you don't have to do fucking stupid, flippy, spinny, perfect everything, friggin' Mary Sue types. This is how you write a character, and you want to empower women. There's exactly how you do it. This wee girl was fantastic. She would put the majority of adult actresses to shame today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I wish her the best career possible. If this is her standard.
Because it's like they wrote her dialogue like how kids really speak, and that was really refreshing. Because that's one thing that drives me insane with children in movies or television shows. I mean, I guess because I'm not a parent or anything, I still have that mentality of, oh, it wasn't that long ago as a fucking kid. So when they talk like an adult writing a kid, it just feels wonky. But yeah, she was fucking amazing in this.
And the whole setup, before we actually get, because we all know what the movie's about. Finney, the main character, Finney and Gwen are the two main characters, and it's brother and sister. So the idea is Finney gets kidnapped, we'll see out the trailer anyway. So we know where it's going. But see the whole build-up before that, and actually getting the background of the area that which they live in, the times they were living in. Brilliantly done. And it wasn't overused. you didn't feel like time was getting wasted. You know why some movies you're like, hurry up, get to the point, or hurry up and get to the kidnap scene, hurry up and get to the flashy thing. This, you could have almost watched this just being a storytelling. You know, the way this was written, this could have just been a piece telling about kids' lives, and it was enjoyable. That's how good it was. God, I've waited so long for a movie like this. Just fucking tightly written, horror movie. You know.
Well, it was so scary. Like, that was one of the scary parts. Was like they used a Joe Hill property to go off of, and if you know anything about his writing, he's fantastic. Like, he builds so much story and atmosphere and all that stuff with his writing. He's a lot like his dad, a lot like his mom. And I think they paid it off really well in this. Yeah,
and that was one of the main comebacks from us. The saying it was sourceful. I'm not 100% familiar with Joe Hill. That's something I need to rectify.
Yeah, definitely.
Bringing too much shit lately. Getting burnt out. But yeah, he's somebody I definitely want to check out and start adding to the list because, God, this is good. If this is an example of his writing and how it's brought to life, more please. We need more of this in the world. So the whole point...
No, it's yeah, check it
Yeah,
out.
starts off with a baseball scene, playing against, and they're showing... This is what I liked as well. Yes, Finney's being bullied, but he's not a weakling. And I like that contrast. He's actually quite accomplished. So he was actually pitching and striking, so he actually got two. He wasn't just being completely useless. He showed himself to be a competent player, which is good to see. It shows that it doesn't matter what level you are, there's always predators, always people that bully you. And that's how some kids don't get a chance to shine their light because, you know, they get beaten down. It's probably because he's accomplished. You know what I mean? If you make any waves in the world, there's always somebody wants to tear you down. That's just human nature, you know what I mean? The several little shit wheels just can't let you be. That because you're doing something and showing them up, that's why you become a target. And then bullies are all the same. They're great when they're in a gang or a gaggle or have the upper hand, but once you stand up to them, they fall apart.
Yeah, God, that second fight when Gwen shows up, man.
Oh man, want to talk about that? That
oh, good.
Proper actual fighting. But we see Bruce, yep, was the guy. He was the first we see getting kidnapped. So after the baseball game, basically, we see Bruce. He gets taken, and then it's then we find out, you know, in the school and stuff, this has been going on for a while. So at this stage, I think he's the fifth kid go missing. The fourth or fifth, yeah, I think he's the fifth kid go missing. No, he's the fourth. Sorry.
No, yeah, he's the fourth.
He's the fourth because Robin's next. Yeah, this is where I had to. Honestly, that be rocket light pen. I needed that in the cinema to start taking notes. Freaking, and as you're going through, it's like start annoying people with being there to review. That's a problem with going to the cinema to review because you're like you have to like try and take it all up at once and just remember all the sequences.
That's something I never really thought of being a side effect of, you know, of the whole pandemic thing, is relearning how to watch a fucking movie in the theaters. Because it got so used to doing it at home that it's like you could take a piss break and not miss anything. You can get up and go grab some food when you run out of it. You can sit there with your phone or a notebook and make notes while doing it. It's such a weird way to think that you have to learn how to do it all over again.
Yeah, especially when you're going in with the premise or reviewing a movie, you're of a different actual mindset. I don't think it takes away to me it doesn't take away the enjoyment. It just makes me pay more attention. So I have watched thousands of movies. I've lost count, but you know what I mean. I've just realised since starting this podcast that I've went into so many movies and just watched it and took nothing in and remembered nothing, and maybe seen it years later and like barely remembered it from the first time, if that makes sense. Yeah. Where over the last couple of years, like we've been going at this near 3 years now, you're actually sitting and you're looking at every scene, you're taking things in. It's interesting. It's a completely different experience actually when you're into theatres now. But then theatres, you're live. You've got your one shot, and they just want to pay another freaking stupid amount of money.
Yeah. For fucking popcorn without butter. Oh god. That was my experience. That was, if I was to bitch about anything about this movie other than the mask, it's my popcorn didn't have butter because there's a fucking shortage. It's bullshit.
That's madness.
It really is.
Nah, and it's not like there's a shortage of dairy farms, but there's weird shit going on at the moment. You know, it's crisis after crisis. You know what I mean? Here's the next one. Panic. Here's the next thing. You're like, fuck off, you weirdos. Back to I don't give a shit. It'd be like me sitting here controlling everybody in my neighbourhood, wondering what they're doing right now. No, I wonder what the person over in that street's doing. I better go and make sure they're not up to anything. Fuck off. You have to be seriously something wrong with you if that's the way you're thinking. I have to control the population, make sure they're doing everything. No, if things aren't being set on fire, burned, blown up, shot, and there's enough money to make infrastructure work, fuck off. In fact, enjoy having an easy life.
Right.
But these fucking weirdos that are like just messing everything up just for the sake of it because they're I don't know, man. That's Karen's rule the world right now.
Right.
So we found in the neighbourhood anyway the story of the grabber, he's known as, and has been going on for a while. So yeah, 4 kids at this point. There's missing persons posters up, and like anything, there's shocking stuff when it happens, but then it's already went into urban myth. So this has been going on for a while. I didn't get the exact time period. I know it has been like a short period of kids going missing.
Yeah, it didn't really. I mean, it's set up that it's in 1978, but other than that, you don't really get a sense of time. You get a vague sense of time, like when Gwen was making a comment of, "Oh, he's back at putting posters up again." It's like this is not the first time that we're seeing posters of Bruce. Was it Yamamata or some shit like that?
So there's obviously been a bit of time since he first went missing, and then it's got to the point where he's getting forgotten about, and then parents are going out doing it again. So this whole thing's happened over a time period, which makes sense, because if 4 kids go missing within like a week of each other, yeah, you'd be wired up for that there. Do you know what I mean? So there's obviously been enough time left between each kidnapping, so whatever the serial killer's cycle is, it's enough that it's still, he's come into urban myth, if that makes sense. So it's enough time that's actually built into the culture, and this has been beautifully played. You know, it's shown that it's enough times went that it's in part of the culture, but it's still a shock when it happens. So there's not too much time apart. But the police have got a, you know, I mean, the cases went cold from last time, so there's not that full alert, which would be foolish. You know, if you're out, if you want to, not that I'm telling people how to go out and kidnap kids, because that's not my thing. If it's your thing, you need to kick at the balls. I don't even like kids, but fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't like kids, just leave them alone. You know what I mean? But so the cases have enough time to go cold, so the state of alert isn't there when he strikes again. So it's been going for a long time, and it's actually built into the. It's almost like Stephen King, you know, way he has like the depression written into an area. But I think Joe Hill's done it. You know, he hasn't copied Stephen King, but it's the only comparison I can think of. The way Stephen King writes about how the area. But he's actually written that it's actually affected the area, and everyone's been tainted by it, and I thought that was really good, the way this is played out. Kids in the, like, I'm just remembering, this is like, I mean, this is the same time as me growing up and stuff. Kids were brutal, and it seems like your side of the pond as well as mine. Like, kids were, there's like they're almost feral. It's the only way to describe them, because I have lost count when I was a kid up to secondary school, when I got the shit kicked out of me with wanting to abandon. I mean, kids were that bad, actually. If they could kill you, they would.
Yeah, no, it's, there was, quite a few times it came that close with me, either on my end or on their end. Like, I mean, shit, it was fucking elementary school, like, I want to say 3rd grade, I was taking knives to school because of how bad shit was.
I never got to the point of taking weapons, thankfully, but fuck, my worst was somebody took an iron bar to my head, you know what I mean, and you know what I mean, and it was over nothing, but that was just, this is shown.
Yeah, see, I wasn't lucky enough to have the over nothing stuff. My problem was either, you know, oh, it's the fat kid, oh, it's the nerdy kid, or oh, it's the fucking mutt kid, because not white, and that's the kind of neighborhood I live in.
Ah, well, the backdrop of my country's slightly different, a wee bit more extreme growing up in Belfast in the 80s. So you had all that, just a little bit. So basically,
like something going on.
there was, I think I got mentioned in the news once or twice, you know, and there's a few things. So that whole backdrop, you know what I mean, there's no way anybody had a normal childhood.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Let me just put it this way. The UDA recruited openly outside my school. That's how bad it was. It was known as the YCV, Young Citizen Volunteers, but it's basically the youth branch of the local paramilitaries. Fuck, you know what I mean? That's how rough my neighbourhood was.
That's fucking crazy.
So there was just the levels of deprivation. And because I didn't go out throwing bricks and petrol bombs and stuff, and I actually read books, that was me. I was a snob, I was a nerd. So that was me instantly a target. And then I've always been a big chunky lad. Problem was, when I was younger, I didn't understand my strength.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I was always put into me not to be like that, to hold back. Right, like my parents just let me rough and tumble, it might have been fine. But I was always told to hold back. Don't get into trouble, don't do this, you know, stay away. So I was in fact alienated from an early age, so I can actually empathise with Finney's character. Because just being that slight bit different, and without being noticeably so, but just the herd can tell when you're not one of them.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, fuck, I relate to the character so well, because I mean, that was me. Like, I was so goddamn scared to fight back, but I could take a punch, and I never realized that was, you know, that's half the fucking battle, is knowing how to get punched in the face and get back up.
That's actually what frightens them more.
I really got it.
I realised that later on, when you actually get back up, that actually frightens a bit more, because they think they're knocking you down and you're going to be simpering, but you've actually got to the point where, yeah, okay. And it doesn't have the fact that actually sends them into a frenzy. It's weird, but we see this all play out. We see these three kids in particular are targeting Finney. And it was only when Robin shows up, he was like the school. We see the fight with him first. This big kid decides to pick on.
Fucking brutal.
Mate, there's fucking adult fight scenes that are shit today.
Yeah.
That don't even. This is brutal, visceral, blood, gut. I mean, all I had to do is crunch a bit of bone for real to make it more realistic. This was proper fight. Yeah, I mean,
especially that hesitation where he's like, "Fuck, he's down. Is this enough? Nah, I gotta prove a point," and then just starts going again. It's like, fuck.
Yeah, and you get that if somebody's, you know what I mean, if somebody's down, you have to put them out. You know what I mean? You have to, if somebody's making your life, you have to leave that point. If you're at that stage where you're actually in a fight and it's never going to stop, you got to make sure that person's down and doesn't get back up, and the point's been made that you're left alone. Because if there's a bit of a, he got it, he only got the upper hand this time, you know, and then people start shit talking. Like the worst ones to me are not the ones that fight, it's the ones that stand on the sidelines and cheer.
Oh, absolutely.
And they just want to see blood, they don't care whose it is.
That's the fucking old Roman Colosseum. Like, I mean, that's that fucking mentality of, you know, like, oh, we're safe, so fuck this person.
Yeah, it's the same now, you see it on social media, it's just played out differently.
Yeah.
The same shitheads. Well, flip a coin. You know what I mean? At the moment, it's all skewed one side, and it's the left going after the right. Eventually, the pendulum will swing. Now, those that ideologically believe in what they are, they'll stay the same. But it's the fuckwits, it's the ones that are the fair weather fans. They're the ones I absolutely despise. Because the minute the pendulum swings and the power goes in the other direction, most of these fuckers that are cancelling people and making their lives a misery will just flip to the other side. So the ones that were, you know, taking part in Satanic Panic and fucking hounding people out for playing D&D will be exactly the same ones that'll go after the commies, that are going after the alt-right Nazi. You know what I mean? It's these snivelling shit weasels that just change with a window. They'll delete their profiles, they'll bring up a new one, and they'll just go after them because they just want the hunt.
Yep.
But they're not brave enough to do it themselves, so they have to hide behind somebody else. And that was played out so well in this fight. Of not the two that were doing it, because in the end the kid committed himself. He knew he was going up against somebody tough. He knew he was probably going to lose, because this guy Robin had already built a reputation, and this kid was trying to obviously step up. So in fairness to that kid, you know, and that's part economics anyway. That's the animal kingdom, and we are animals.
Yeah.
you know, someone will go after the alpha, try and make their play. So that's what he did. He made his play. He lost, but this guy Robin made that decision. You just see it. You see it ticking over as well, and it actually makes sense why he did it.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't even a personal hatred or what is it like? He wasn't going psycho. It was actually cold and calculated.
Yeah, no.
This movie's going to unsettle so many people. There's going to be so many melting snowflakes.
Really is. There was times where I was fucking like getting uncomfortable, and that doesn't happen very often. Like it was great.
And this isn't even. That's what I mean. This isn't even the main part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
This is just a setting, and it's fucking brilliant. I could watch an hour of this.
Mm-hmm.
This could be a TV show of just two kids growing up and like playing with psychic powers. If it was done in that setting, fuck, I'd watch it.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me like 5 seasons of this shit. I'll eat it up.
Yeah, but that whole thing, and then he's coming in afterwards. We see Finney get chased into the bathroom, so it's all happening around about the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So these three wee pricks, they're looking. They know they're not in that league. If that makes sense, that's a big league. It's the ones at the centre two pummeling each other. I've got the respect of the whole school. These three dipshits don't. They're fucking bottom feeders. They're don't know what animal to equate them to, but they're mid-level predators. They're gonna have their small fry. So they decide to go after Finney. Robin just casually walks in after the fight, and that's the beauty of it. The teachers aren't getting involved. You know what I mean? That's the way it used to be. Fucking kids would just fight it out.
Fixing his shit up in the bathroom, like fuck. That's how it used to be. Like as long as there weren't weapons and someone didn't die, it's just like whatever, kids.
Yeah, it's a fucking bloody nose. Get over it. Busted lip. Fucking end of story. Nowadays, it's you hurt my feelings. Really, dickhead. That's what not to bring politics, but I don't know if you've seen me post recently because they brought up the insurrection again. I just laughed my balls off. Right, so they've been bringing up, the insurrection when America nearly got taken over by 20 people shouting loudly. And I showed a picture of Michael Stone, who's a local paramilitary who tried to take over Stormont. And he actually was armed, and he got taken down by security guards. If it happened in America, he'd have taken over the country. That's how weak and fucking pathetic, you know what I mean, people are now. It's like, you could lock the doors. Fucking insurrection over, you know what I mean? Just stop using hyperbolic language.
The problem was it was a bunch of white men. Like if it wasn't a bunch of white men, it wouldn't have even happened. They would have just been mowed the fuck down. Yeah, it was.
But it just showed.
That was the day that this country officially fucking died.
You're kind of like, fuck off. That's about a bunch of shouty people, and like realistically, if there had been any danger, they wouldn't have been alive. I just don't get it. All they had to do is lock doors. Like they push through a barrier, fucking you just see them bars getting pulled aside almost. A couple of security guards. Fuck off. But this thing, these kids could take over the government right now because they're willing to throw a punch and take a punch. Those two kids that were fighting could take over the government right now. That's how weak people are. That's my comparison, not taking sides, but it's just the patheticness of people now. To forget that we are part of nature, and that includes the not fluffy parts as well. We're a brutal species, and this was played out so beautifully in these scenes. And then, like I said, the kids are going after Finney, going to the toilets, and Robin just casually walks in. So he hasn't been hauled out by security guards, or this is before they had security guards and fucking metal detectors and shit in schools. But he just casually walks in, fucking washes the blood off his knuckles, fucking duct tape and stuff, you know what I mean? Makeshift bandage, and he just tells him, touch him and you're dealing with me. Brilliant scene, like, just shows how, and that's why this is going to really disturb people. This alone, just that casualness, the violence, but that's the way it was.
Yeah.
It's just kids went around packs, so it was all about establishing the pecking order, and it was just done this way. But yeah, he tells the kids basically to piss off, and they do it, and then I think, was it just after this when he gets grabbed? Because he was the last one.
Yeah,
of the 5 kids.
After that he got grabbed. But so basically right after that, that's when the whole build up of the sort of urban legend aspect of the grabbers built up, and then yeah, that's when he gets snatched on his way to like this store or some shit.
Yeah, so it was. When did the police come to talk to Gwen? Was it before or after this?
It was before, because she was talking to the Bruce's sister about the dream that she had about him being abducted and shit. So that got back to the police, and they're like, "Hey, man, you're talking about some black balloons being left. That's a thing that's never been released to anybody. Like the police are the only ones to know that. So how the fuck, is there a leak in the department, or do you know something we don't?" Like they were freaking the fuck out on her.
Yeah, which was understandable, but this is where the other side of things, because sorry, just like I said, when you watch it once and it's still fresh, but at the same time, haven't chronologued the whole movie bit by bit. This is a really packed. There's like 3 different storylines going on, okay, and the grabber is actually the lowest tier storyline. If that makes sense, because we've got the whole dynamics of the time and the bullying and the power. I mean, that's a story in itself. Then we've got Gwen and her abilities, which seem to have been passed down from her mother. And that is coming to, that's a whole storyline in itself. So you've got these parallel storylines running, and any other movie that's been attempted, this would just be a convoluted mess. But this story doesn't do that. What was fascinating, the director, Scott Derrickson, he walked away from one of the Marvel movies. Doctor Strange too. So he was originally on board, and then he walked away partway through that movie over creative differences. And the other guy he's working with held back on this movie until he was finished anyway. So this movie wasn't going to get made till he was done with that, but he ended up leaving that movie early because you can see the way he's put this movie together. He's sick and tired of CGI things hitting each other 100 times and no consequence. No, you know what I mean? I think he's sick of these milquetoast boring movies that just are like a conveyor belt. We've talked about that. So
yeah, I mean that's pretty much all it is.
So, but that's brave as well, because if you're just that's why I want to look into this director a bit more, because it seems like he has a bit of integrity. So he's more interested in actually creating the product, and actually telling the story right, than just churning out stuff to get a paycheck, which is admirable in this day and age.
Oh yeah, definitely, because I'd fucking sell out in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I'd just like give it, but I'd want enough money so I don't have to get involved again. So if I ever created a property that was sellable, I'd be like, okay, I need this amount so I don't ever have to come back and disappear. You know what I mean? I'd never create anything again. I'd be happy. Like, okay, you do what you want.
I just need enough money to become Radagast. That's it.
Yep.
Some old weird hermit in the woods. That's all the money I need.
With modern amenities. I like
electricity.
I like washing. I like plumbing and washing. That's the thing. No, I don't like shit piling up everywhere. That's something that sets me off. Yeah, so if I can keep the place clean, tidy, and not worry about what do you call them, septic tanks, fucking building up with shit everywhere.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, electricity and a proper plumbing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's all I need. If I have that, I can easily bypass everything else. Crack on and find plenty to do in my time, especially if it involves animals. So yeah, after this comes up, the police come speak to Gwen, and then that's where she gets an absolute her arse tanned.
Dude, that was fucking brutal.
Oh man, that's
holy shit, that was the scariest part of the fucking movie. So it's like I lived that.
Oh yeah, so have I. That was it. You got that. Even schools, we had corporal punishment in school. So teachers would fucking wheel into you. Well, as you know, I'm an old fart, so and Northern Ireland kind of was a bit backward behind everywhere else, so changes were being made in the rest of the UK. Northern Ireland's like about 10 years behind because it's a little isolated bubble. But yeah, you got tanned. You messed up. You got tanned. I remember my granddad. He was worse than my parents, and there was no reason for it. It was like fucking something happened. Fucking the bell came out. You're like, the fuck. Nah. But the way they did this scene, but once again, the father isn't an abuser.
Mm-hmm.
This was done out of fear, and it's actually, and that's where, like, I think modern audiences are going to have a problem with this movie because there's too much to unpack.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just simply let out for them. Oh, this is a bad guy. No, this is a broken man who lost his wife because of these abilities, actually made her commit suicide.
Yeah.
And this guy is actually terrified of losing his kids, and fear of abandonment or loss is one of the most toxic emotions.
Oh yeah, will fuck you up.
You know, and this is being displayed out. You know, he is battling her. You will not do this again. You're not going the way. You know, it all comes out. You're not going the way of your mother. And we've seen a few scenes where he's drunk. You know, and it was the first scene where she goes off to somebody for a Friday night, and even between them, just like, yeah, I'll look after Dad. You know, he's passed out drunk, and like, what a way to live. But that was not abnormal. It's still not abnormal now. It's just
that was my childhood, and I bet it was a billion other people's fucking childhoods.
Mm-hmm. But you see this whole scene played out, and it is horrific, you know. But then it actually is used as a storytelling device, not just shock factor. I think that's what makes this so different. It's not just done for shock or to go bad guy. All fathers are bad. You know what I mean? It's effectively a single parent as well. So the lines are blurred, if that makes sense, and things are complicated.
Yeah, that's the nice thing is it builds layers on the characters. It's like, yeah, from the surface, like, fuck this guy. He's a piece of shit. Somebody deserves to kill him. But then you start to understand why he feels that way, and it's like, nah, he's still a bad person, but he's not as bad.
Yeah, he just can't. You know what I mean? Men have never been taught to deal with emotions. You know, and grief and loss, especially in the 70s. Fucking hell, that was never spoken of.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So absolutely no outlet. That's what you do. You get drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? That was just, you see, that's your typical working class man. You know, which is why I hate the way working class men get demonised when you don't give people the tools, and you create stigmas, and then you expect certain behaviours.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, fuck off. Once again, that's why I think the general audience is going to be like, when it comes to this movie. But yeah, after this, then this is when Robin gets abducted.
Mm-hmm.
So after this all plays out, then Robin gets abducted, and fuck, that's what hits.
Let me take a aside real quick on this. Like the abductions before, oh my god, why am I blanking his name? Finney. Like all the abductions before he gets pulled, so great because it doesn't show anything. Now, I mean, of course, if you'd watched the trailers, you saw how he gets abducted, kind of, but like it leaves that little bit of a mystery.
Yeah.
It happens. You see the man, you see the character, but that's it. You don't see anything else. So I thought that was pretty cool. Like he leaves the mystery there.
Yeah, because the whole point is this story is centered around Finney's character and him going through the experience. So if you played everything out, like paint by numbers, which so many movies do now, which is why I get bored and fed up and frustrated. Yeah, you're telling a story, you're building suspense. Like I'm actually on the edge of my seat. I know it's coming because before we know what the base of the story is, but I'm still not expecting it.
Oh yeah.
And that kidnap scene was fucking brutal. Like, how the hell they were able to do that with a child actor in this day and age? You know, show that like level of aggression. Like he was being manhandled. And even the way it starts out, you know, drops the bags and stranger danger. We've seen that before. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Kids are worried. But back then, it wasn't a thing because people. I think most people still didn't lock doors. You know what I mean? In your neighbourhood, you knew who your neighbours were, you trusted people. It just wasn't a thing, but this is, you know what I mean? So that's why it was so shocking as well when it happens, but this guy just plays it and he grabs it. And I don't know what the hell was in the canister. Mm-hmm. But even the way he spread the canister in his mouth, like that was, like, even to act that out, like that's proper physical acting.
Yeah, that was fucking brutal.
And doing that with a kid as well, like that's fair play to these kids. Honestly, I'll say that again. Fair play to these kids. I really hope they maintain their talent and have long careers. I'm excited to see what they do next, because even him acting that and being able to, being, because I think if you're allowing something to be done physically to you for the sake of a scene, like, you're committed. Where, like I said, you see so many now, and all they're basically doing is posing on set, and they're going under no physical strength or any physical stress whatsoever, and it's all done in front of a green screen. And it actually reminds me back. Remember The Abyss? No, it's a sci-fi movie, right? So the cast actually were traumatized filming that, because of the way it was done underwater in the tank and stuff, and the temperatures, and they were actually physically hurting. It's the same as Evil Dead. When Evil Dead was first, you look at those interviews, like, those actors were brutalized, but they believed in Sam, the creator's vision. But the cabin, the cold, the fake blood, and I've seen what's her face out of Ash vs. Evil Dead, Dana, talking about that, not when the blood goes on, but when it dries, it actually physically hurts.
Oh, yeah.
You don't see that with mainstream movies. You don't see that with a lot of things. Actually, actors put themselves under physical hurt. They take a lot of roids and get jacked up, and then they dance around the screen. But you know what I mean?
Right.
Fucking, that's why you switch off now from most movies. It's like, not invested. But this had me invested. Even that simple kidnap scene, no special effects, just camera work and acting.
Yeah, well, and the thing that blew my mind too is, like, I honestly thought that scene was gonna be like drug out just to build the suspense and shit, but I think it was more successful by just being so fast and brutal.
Yeah, because you wouldn't be spending 20 minutes.
You want to see a magic trick? Ah, fuck you! Come on, I got you. And then
Yep.
it's like, Jesus Christ, he got him.
Just like that, boom, door closed. Because that's how quick this guy has to operate. If you think about it logically, he wouldn't be spending 20 minutes dancing around. It'd be fucking boom, done, away. That's why he's successful, because he doesn't hang about.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he knocks the kid out. I don't know what was in that canister, how he was using it, but fucking hell, just even the way that, like, almost choking him out using a spray, like, that was brutal.
Oh yeah.
Even, there isn't much blood in this movie.
No, but the scene, like, that was the first thing I was talking to my wife about on the way home last night, was just the level of gore. There's not much, but what is in there is so effective. And they even hold back. Like the scene at the end, we'll get to. Like, it was just so well played that it just made it that much more brutal.
Mm-hmm. And just I think the sharp shock of the violence in it, the way it was played out, is just, it's been a while since I've been like, in a movie. It's been so long, I've missed it. You know what I mean? Even this kidnap scene, and then he wakes up, he's in the basement. Where have we missed anything in between? No, it goes straight to that, doesn't it? He gets kidnapped and he goes straight into the basement.
That's pretty much it. I mean, there's been a bunch of, like, little, back and forth moments, but that's about it.
Yeah, so it just takes him straight, and then he's in the basement. This is where he meets the grabber. Grabber basically introduced himself. I'm not going to hurt you. Blah blah blah. Oh yeah, the way he stabbed him with the pen, the rocket pen.
So that's okay. That's the thing too about this movie, and I understand suspension of disbelief. So it took me out for a split second the first time I saw it, but it's like, it's 1978. Why the fuck would this kid have an LED flashlight that's also apparently die-cast? I don't think that's how that works.
Yeah, don't know, there was other weird toys. Remember, toys were made out of lead and stuff, you know what I mean? People didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was, like, dangerous toys out there.
Yeah.
But I suppose he had to have a tool, and he wasn't. I'm glad that they didn't build it, that he's carrying a knife with him.
Yeah, because that wouldn't have made sense for the character.
Even though he's getting bullied and stuff, it didn't make sense. You know what I mean? It would go the wrong direction. So it was an innocuous tool, and they just happened to make it that it was useful. And the fact that he let him keep it as well was a bit.
Yeah, that was a straight up power move. Like, oh yeah, I don't give a fuck. You stabbed me with that, and it makes me mad. But go ahead and keep it, because I'm gonna fucking kill you anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and ultimately, I think he was hoping that he'd use it again because later on we find out about the naughty boy.
Oh yeah, God,
that would have just expedited the process.
Yeah. So this goes on. There's stuff happens in between. So this is where we go back because we get that introduction. He's down there. Does the phone ring? The phone doesn't ring the first time. It's the next thing. But in between that, we now start to see Gwen.
Yeah, this is
her. Oh God, her and Jesus. Oh my God, that was so funny.
Dude, everybody in the fucking theater was losing their shit anytime she did one of her like witty things. Like when she's like, "Fuck you, Jesus, are you even real?" Everybody just lost it. So goddamn good.
So she's got this wee thing, a doll's house, opens up, and then it's obviously she's in RC, so got the cross and Mary figure and stuff. Not in the picture of Jesus, so she's kneeling down. Okay, Jesus, you keep giving me these dreams, right? I need to find my brother. What the hell?
Yeah, so good.
Like that wee actress is brilliant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if she doesn't end up having like a fruitful career after this, I would be very surprised.
No, she needs that. It's the same as Mackenzie out of Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those two. I mean, there's another wee upcoming star. As long as they don't get their heads minced, that's a frightening thing. As long as Hollywood doesn't mince their heads, and actually lets them. We've got stars in the making here. Because at the moment we don't. We have a load of shitheads who are just bland. But these kids can actually act, which gives me hope for the future. Because
definitely,
I was feeling completely despondent for a while there. Just like, fuck, is this it? It's just going downward spiral. Movies. Yeah, so she's starting to get these dreams, and she's trying to actually encourage it now, despite what her father says. Because I think this is what the turning point in their relationship. Because now Finney's been taken, he's like lost so many games, so he's actually flipped the dime, so to speak. So this whole second storyline picks up. It's funny the way the police are almost coming to her reverently now, rather than like some weird kid. How did you find out?
Well, this is the 5th kid, so we got to do something.
Yeah, actually plays into the whole. Do you know why for a while psychic mediums were used by the police?
Oh yeah.
And that became a whole grift game. But I'm still, I honestly still, I haven't seen anything myself to say it is true or not. At the same time, we all have perception. And there's some people can pick up more than others. Now, I don't believe, like, there's a lot of charlatans out there, that's a problem. And I don't believe actually talking to ghosts and dead and stuff, because, as we all know from horror movies, ghosts are retards and can't speak anyway. So, how can somebody come and speak? Most ghosts are like, mate, just point to the thing and I'll help you out. I know, I'm a ghost, I'll go scare the kid when I'm covered in gore for my murder. Yay!
Yeah.
That'll work. That'll solve the crime and get me help.
I mean, it worked in this one.
Yeah, it's actually different the way they did this. So like I said, we'll have this other scene playing out. Gwen's starting to get the dreams, trying to figure it out, getting herself frustrated. She's actually going around her bike and stuff, like around the neighbourhood at night time.
So the dreams, like, that was set up even before Finney was gone, and he set it up real well. Like her abilities with the dreams, because right after Robin gets kidnapped, I mean, this is like one of Finney's only friends, and he's like, "Hey man, can you use your dreams to find out where the fuck he is?" She's like, "It doesn't work that way." Oh, well, can you try? So like, just that little conversation totally set up how she does all this.
Yeah, sorry, I kind of forgot that, but like I said, just
well, there's a lot to unpack, and that's the crazy thing too, because on paper there really isn't that much, but a lot of this is atmosphere, a lot of this is suspense building, and it's like they did a fantastic job.
Yeah, I just love it. Like I said, this is definitely one for a second or third watch. You know,
Yeah,
I don't think you'll get more from it each time.
Yeah, I'll be buying this one when it comes out.
Yeah,
for sure,
definitely. And I'm buying the mask. Don't care if you don't like it, but that mask needs to appear here somewhere.
That's fair.
Just to annoy you. I didn't like the whole separating bit. That was a bit annoying. But I liked the full one.
I understood the separation because dude's broken, so he couldn't show emotion except for like through the mask. But I don't know. It just, to me, it was like, oh, we hired Tom Savini to do something, but we don't have anything for him to do. I know, let's have him make a mask. It's like, it wasn't necessary.
Yeah, this could have been done without it. I get it. Even with the makeup, the white makeup and stuff, and the clowns.
Oh god, that was fucking scarier than the damn mask.
Yeah, that was actually really well done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just gonna, what I mean, enjoyed it. But Ethan Hawke plays a really good role in this as well. He isn't your typical, like, he's minimalist in his appearances and the character, and he's not overhamming it.
Yeah.
He does just enough to make it freaky. But yeah, so we've got this whole thing. Gwen's trying to solve the problem her end. We never talked about the fight scene. Sorry, mate. We never talked about the fight scene before Finney actually gets kidnapped. We were going to.
Oh yeah.
Shit, we're about to leave out the best part of the movie.
Jesus Christ. He is just getting his ass handed to him because, of course, his.
Once Robin got kidnapped, leave the power vacuum, and these wee dipshits, not even being horrified by the fact somebody got kidnapped, and not, no, they're like, here's my opportunity. We can get this wee fucker.
Yeah. Like, they were going to town on him, and then for fucking Gwen to just show up all Rambo style with a rock. Like, it's so good.
But also, it wasn't done in your typical Mary Sue type. You know what I mean? She didn't come in fucking flippy spinny martial arts and they all fell down.
She got her ass kicked too.
Yep. And that scene at the end, like, she brains one of them with a rock. Like, proper. And you just see the way she did it with the anger and stuff on her face. That's my brother. Fucking crunch. You believed it.
Oh yeah.
And for the kids to do this.
And then the beautiful scene where, like, she gets bested and she just scoots off to the side next to the other guy, and it's just like, that's where they are until the fight's over. It's like, god damn, like, that's.
Yeah, both of them are just.
Real life. Yeah.
If you've ever been punched, you know what I mean? You do see stars for a minute, and if you get proper crack around the head, you know what I mean? It's not fun. Sorry, activists, I know you don't actually get into fights, you sit and go, my feelings. But this is actually what happens if you do get a dig in the chin. Brilliant. Like, and those kids were, the hatred for novel, you know what I mean? There's no actual reason, because I've never seen any interaction between Finney. He's just somebody that's decided to target.
Yeah.
But the way they're kicking the shit out of him is proper. They don't care. If he died, they wouldn't care. Do you know what I mean? That's the trajectory their lives are going, and you can just see it in that moment.
Yeah.
Finney's not a threat to them. They're not. In fact, Finney is. He's almost invisible.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the type in the school where everyone's pointing to, so him getting picked on doesn't give the bullies any more status.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not up the ranks where, by taking him out, let's say move up. So he's actually a nobody.
Yeah.
We'll see he can play baseball a bit and he's actually quite accomplished, but not enough to make an impact, because in the end Bruce still was a superstar. And when he gets briefly looked at, for those 2 strikes, and then the fact that Bruce hits it, that's him gone, he's back into the shadows again.
Mm-hmm.
So these kids are just out to destroy him for no reason whatsoever. And I think that's what makes it so real and what hits home, because that's what a lot of these guys are like. There's no logical reason. You try and unpack why the kids get on, I guess, but there isn't a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't try to. This whole thing at the moment of trying to make the villain the hero or the anti-hero is boring as fuck.
It really is, because some people are just fucking people.
And that's it. They're just straight up dickheads, and
yeah.
Doesn't matter what their backgrounds are or trying to give them the backstory and excuses. That's just the way they are. If they'd grown up in a mansion, had everything, they'd still be a dickhead. Just some people are like that, and you gotta remember that in this day and age.
Yeah.
People are trying to bury that under the sofa, so to speak, or under the rug. It's like, piss off. This has been the most true movie I've seen in so long. Yeah, that fight scene.
Well, really, honestly, this movie was very reminiscent of like 1960s, 1970s horror, where it's just like so surreal with how true to life it is.
Yeah, and that's always the best horror. Stuff
Mm-hmm.
that's grounded in reality, even supernatural, because this is a supernatural horror, believe it or not. But
Mm-hmm.
so far, up until the first, which we're going to talk about now in a wee second, but up until that first phone call, there's no supernatural element in this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The dreams could be interpreted any way, you know, exactly, but it's not actual supernatural, the dead trying to reach out. So this movie has managed to be a horror movie and gripping and tense even before we get to the first scene. And the first scene's what I'm going to talk about now. We go back to Finney, who's in the basement. The grabber brings down some food. And he's all, what did you put in it? Salt and pepper? You know, even the way, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. You know,
Yeah.
oh god, that's, like I said, the way the characters played, just, like, you know, the guys, like, Fruit Loop, his screws are loose.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the most dangerous person because you can't reason with them.
Oh yeah.
You're just there to play their game, and you may think you're getting somewhere. Because I always love those type of movies with serial killers, knowing somebody tries to talk them around, and then they think they're getting somewhere, and then just flips back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the scary thing. It's like dealing with a really dangerous predator, and if you poke it the wrong way, you're gone. But it's this person's already decided what they're doing to you, and you're not going to change them. Then they want to play the game for a bit. But yeah, so he brings down the food. Then he goes up and leaves the door.
Yeah. That shit. I was so fucked up.
That was a refrigerator door too, wasn't it?
What's that?
Was that a refrigerator door?
That's what it looked like to me.
It looked like a... Because he said he soundproofed the place himself, because he told him he could scream all he wanted. And that actually looked like a... You know, the catch. It was actually a refrigerator door. Like, how much work has gone on this? You know what I mean? The serial killers are dedicated. You have to give them that.
Right.
And they all seem to be engineers.
Well, and especially like after he starts talking to the different kids, and let's see, what was Vance talking about the hole in the wall? It's like this motherfucker rebuilt a wall. Like this guy's handy as shit.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, the first phone call was actually Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that was the first night he was in. Yeah, we had the phone call. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead. Yeah, so he was he picks up the phone. He's like, "You almost got me." You know that line from the thing. I can't remember my name, so it's playing on the whole. When you leave your body, your corporeal form, you know what I mean, you start getting lost in the ether, which I thought's as an interesting topic in terms of paranormal. You know, what are ghosts, and why aren't the place just littered with them? You know, is it the connection? And that's why ghosts haunt certain places and stuff. You know, it's a connection that keeps them sort of bound. But once that connection's lost, they dissipate. And that was played right. So yeah, Bruce rings him the night before, tells him about the floor tile.
Yeah.
And he said he nearly got out. You know, he was starting to dig through.
Yeah, he was telling him to try to, you know, be fast about it and get underneath the foundation.
Yeah, because you have no time. You know what I mean? You're running out of time. But it's the second time he brings the food down, leaves the door open. The phone rings again. And it's Billy.
It's Billy.
Yeah. And was it Billy tells him that the grabber can hear the phone too?
I think so.
Because remember he picked up the
Pretty sure it
phone.
was set up early on. Yeah, because the grabber talks about.
The phone doesn't work and got really angry with him, you know, even for touching it.
I heard it ring once and it scared the living shit out of me.
Yeah, he said electromagnetic, but yeah, this is the point where, Billy rings him just as he's about to go, and he's like, "Don't! It's a trap. It's a trick." He wants to play naughty boy, you know. He wants to beat you, and he beats you so hard, and he doesn't stop.
And that shit, man, like the ghosts. Fuck, dude. Like, it straight up reminded me of The Sixth Sense with how just brutal and not really shown, but shown very fast they were. It just, God, it was so effective.
Yeah, because we don't actually see a ghost until, is it Griffin? Or is it...
No, it was Billy.
Did we see Billy?
Yeah, because he was the one that got beat down the stairs.
Right, yeah, because remember we don't see Bruce.
Yeah, we don't see Bruce. We just hear him.
Yeah, we just hear him.
And with Billy, it's like they're having the conversation.
Billy appears twice. That's why, isn't it? Doesn't Billy appear twice? There's one of the ghosts appears rings twice.
Yeah, I think it was him.
God, man, see, trying to remember a bloody movie when you're you've only watched it once. This is yeah. Sorry, folks, if you're expecting like super professional thing, but this is the way you do it. This is
super professional thing. You haven't watched the last 3 years of this fucking podcast.
Yeah, so get the fuck. This is two blokes who just haven't watched the movie and we're trying to remember the whole thing, and this is like any conversation ever when you're like, oh, I fucking remember that scene. That's and that's the beauty of this, because we'll you can go back and forth. We'll watch this when it comes out in DVD. I'll be getting it, or 4K, and there'll still be more to unpack. I'm like, oh shit, forgot about that bit.
Oh yeah,
so much going on. But yeah, Billy's the one who warns him about Naughty Boy, and even the way he describes it was like really scary.
Yeah, and I think it was Griffin that went a little bit more into detail about what. No, it was Billy. I think the second time they talked.
Billy rings twice because it's the second time that we see Billy.
Yeah.
Isn't Billy the one that floats?
No, that one was Griffin.
Is that Griffin?
Yeah, because he was pointing out where he...
Oh, where he put it on the wall? Yeah, that's right. Shit.
That shit, man, that build-up. Just a little... Doop, doop.
I jumped.
Just going...
I jumped. It got me. It got me. Like, it's been so long since the jump scare got me. That got me. I'm like, holy shit.
That's funny.
I loved it. Loved it.
That's the thing. Like, there were a few jump scares in here, and yeah, I almost got every single time.
No, Griffin got me. Yeah. So after Billy warns him about Naughty Boy game, then we see that the grabber's up there, freaking shirt off, like proper pedo territory, fucking like with his strop, just waiting to go for it, and you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
Let's yeah, because in between, let's talk about Max. This is my only gripe with this show. Like that character Max.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have the police going door to door, and we know it's the grabber's house, and Max answers the door, and he's like, yeah, come in, and he's got this whole conspiracy theory stuff laid out. How does this all go on? You not realise, I thought it was Max was, but I knew the character. I knew the actor. I've seen the interviews and stuff, so I knew it wasn't the grabber. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, who the hell's this dude?
Yeah, I thought that was...
I was scratching my head at first.
Context, it was a very interesting setup, but then to find out that it was his brother, it's like, okay, so he's not just some coked out fucking crazy guy. Yeah,
and even the way the police, like, that's wouldn't happen today, because police are more interested in policing tweets and fucking... Did you hear about that? Don't know, over here. Mm-mm. So a comedian went to a comedy show, or a comedian was... people went to a comedy gig, and one of the audience phoned the police and the comedian for saying donkey dick. And the police actually fucking got involved.
What the fuck?
Seriously?
Can you not swear over there?
Here's the way the world's... And that's why this film's going to fucking disturb a lot of the snowflakes, and they're going to be melting all around. So, this comedian, I don't know the joke, I don't even follow the comedian, but he gave its routine, and somebody in the audience decided it was so offensive that they'd ring the police, and the police actually got in touch with the comedian and asked him to provide a statement in context for the joke.
It's a goddamn joke, that's the context.
So...
what the fuck is wrong with people?
This is how weak... That is just pure fucking weakness. That's why I love this movie, because it's showing an actual brutality which today's generation would not be able to handle.
No.
Like, honestly, people, this is why it's going to blow people's mind, because they're going to watch this and they're just going to freak out and they're not going to be able to deal with it. Because that's how weak...
It's going to be one of those things that when it's shown on television, every time it cuts back into, or just after a commercial break, they're going to have the disclaimer of disturbing images.
Yep.
Coming forth.
Blah 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 blah. It's going to be a paragraph. It's going to
fucking Obi-Wan series, and it's like, why? It's a Star Wars thing. wars is a part of it. War is brutal. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, fucking...
Who this shit needs those kinds of warnings?
It's stupidity. Utter stupidity now. But that's why this movie is... And it shows how principled the director is. The fact that he walked away from a Marvel movie of the same boring old shit. He's like, I don't want to make this anymore. This is fucking crap.
Yeah.
I'm sick of this fucking boring milquetoast fucking guff, and I want to do something brutal, and fuck, he did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely got. They made them a right decision. Definitely.
But back to my point, the police, because they're hunting a serial killer, because I think they know it's a serial killer. You know what I mean? There's no if buts or maybe. You know they haven't found the body. They see the coke lined up on the table, and the cop's just like, you might want to clean that up before your brother gets home.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, a police today, that's what they'd arrest him for, and they'd arrest him for fucking jokes and mean tweets. Like, the police are not capable now of dealing with actual crime.
Right.
And the only reason crime figures are...
You look at, like, the last school shooting that happened over here.
They all fucking hid outside.
The fucking cops showed up and just were like, no, I don't want to go in there, we might get shot. So a bunch of kids got fucking murdered because they were too big of babies to fucking go in and do their job.
They did that with the one previous as well, didn't they?
I don't remember.
I think that they stood outside for 2 hours before they even went in. Like, police are fucking cowards. You've got the worst. It used to be, police were all ex-squaddies. At least over here anyway. You know what I mean? You basically came out of the army, you went into the police, that was kind of the trajectory. Mm-hmm. So, you had fucking 6'2" fucking paras and commandos, fucking police in the streets, and then kids got a slap. You know what I mean? If you fucked up, you got a slap. Told them not to do it again. And that kept the... You know what I mean? Kept the pace, because you know if you go too far, they're coming at you hard. And that was that whole thing. But now, because there's no consequences, and then people are all the sniveling little shit weasels are like, he hurt my feelings, I'm calling the police on you. Because they don't like what they're saying. But meanwhile, fucking people won't call the police over a burglary because they know it's no point. The only reason they call the police is to get a reference number for insurance, but people now, that's why crime figures have gone down, because they like won't ring the police because they're useless. This scene where he's like, yeah, I could do you for that, but I've got more important things right now. You're nothing to me. You know what I mean? There's fucking kids getting kidnapped. Get your shit sorted out. Yeah. Just letting them know, and he's like, oh shit, stupid, you know.
Yeah, that was fucking funny.
That was the only real bit of levity, I think. No, apart from Gwen talking to Jesus.
Apart from fucking Gwen, like, she was...
The Gwen Jesus conversations were absolute hoot. Yeah. But this is the only other bit of levity in this.
Man, that was fucking hilarious. Like, just calling them on their shit left and right. Like, fucking brutal.
Yeah, that we are brilliant, absolutely brilliant. She's a hero, definitely. I'm glad to give her enough of a story arc, because there was a danger here with the balance that they were going to maybe take away from Finney's story to elevate her or push her back. But they managed to complement the two storylines, her investigating and reaching out and doing it her way, and Finney trying to struggle and get it through his way, while everyone else is just kind of spiraling as usual. You know, the world's still going on, so the police are still actively trying to search. You know, at least one thing, they didn't try and show the police to be complete morons in this.
Yeah.
They showed them actually interested in solving crime,
mm-hmm.
which I think you need a bit more of. But like I said, the dipshits have hired now. It's never going to happen. They need to actually rehire the entire police forces all over the world, because they've just got too many dickheads in.
Mm-hmm.
That won't change, you know what I mean? Systems are systems, but when you've got dickheads, doesn't matter what the system is.
Oh, yeah.
So the second bit, the third phone call, because this is the kind of way this story's broken up now, is these phone calls is another stage of the plot, another stage of the story. We'll get the Griffin, like you're saying, God, he was, first he's telling about he hasn't been sleeping. You won't play Dotty Boy, he hasn't been sleeping. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what's that got to do? He's asleep now. It's like, fuck. You know what I mean? That was so well done.
Oh, yeah. And that, God, man, that was just so fucking suspenseful, that whole scene. It's like he's going to wake up at any fucking second, dude.
But, the combination, can't remember. It's so hard to keep a grip. Do you know what I mean? These kids are literally fighting to stay in the space, to basically get this guy dealt with, or at least save one, you know what I mean? That's their whole reason, but it's getting harder each time. So if the grabber remains successful, these ghosts will dissipate. You know, that's just the way they're fighting to stay in the physical realm, which I thought was amazing. They're showing this struggle even with the kids after they're dead. Their ordeal isn't over. And yeah, he's trying to remind about the lock, and then that's when that's the bit you see the dripping and pointing. It's like, fuck. You know, it's just so well done.
Oh yeah.
And then even that whole scene where he actually does go up the stairs, and then Finney realised what was waiting for him if he had did it the first time. This guy's just waiting to fucking pummel on him.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, holy shit. And that whole scene with him actually creeping, there was actually suspense there.
Yeah, that was terrifying. That was just like, oh my god, he's gonna turn his head or open an eye at any fucking point.
And we know it's going to happen too because the story isn't over yet. And then it's the dog barking, which then that's the bit you realised it's the same house. And it's like, the fuck. And then that's when I start thinking, no, this can't be Max and I thought Max and the grabber were the same person. And maybe they're using a different actor to represent a different personality. You know, but I didn't think it was like that because it wasn't done that way. Because if that was the case, you'd have them have. I mean, you never see you having a conversation. But yeah, he's doing the lock, and then he just bolts out of the house.
Yeah, that was intense. It's like, holy shit, he's actually gone. And then the dude just comes up on him, fucking hits him with his car, and then pulls a knife on him.
Actually bumps him with the car, like he doesn't mess about. It wasn't a stupid. I hate these stupid chase scenes where you know the killer can catch. You know what I mean? Easily out sprint and catch the other person, and then they do all this shit. You know what I mean? The fact that you just say fuck it. I mean, it reminds me of Terrifier actually, because Art doesn't fuck about.
No, not at all.
He's not, you know, he plays about a bit, but when it comes to actually, okay, this is getting hard, fucking gun comes out and he'll shoot you, he doesn't care, he'll fucking drop something on you, he just want, you know what I mean, if it gets to the stage where he thinks, I'm not going to win this, fuck it, you know what I mean, not playing anymore till it gets over. That was the feeling I was getting from this, but he just whacks him with a car.
Yeah, that was so good.
And it's like,
and he was so damn close to getting away, and that was another part of it. It was just so fucking just brutal. Like, he's right there. There's people standing at their doors trying to figure out what the hell they're yelling at.
Well, they turned the lights on, but they hadn't, you know what I mean, they were getting the point looking out, but they weren't seeing anything. Nobody had actually opened their door yet. If they'd opened their door, that could have been it. That's all they needed, somebody to open their door. Game over.
Yeah.
But no, that's and the intense, you know what I mean, once again, it's a child actor with an adult playing out a really physical scene. And it wasn't one of these, that's another thing as well, it's not one of these fucking 26-year-old children they put in high school movies. It was actually a proper child, which is, you know, you don't see.
Yeah.
Like, normally they're hitting 30 and they're fucking, they're playing high school kids, you're like, yeah, I'm not feeling it. Hack away. But this was actually a child actor and an adult, and fucking, that was an intense scene. That's another one, just with him on the ground and him like the knife to the throat, and I'll gut you right here. I don't care if I get caught. You know, you're not getting away.
You would fucking strangle you with your viscera.
Yeah. He's like, I don't care about getting caught. You know, and that's the most frightening thing. If somebody's nothing to lose, but you getting away is more important to him than whatever happens to him afterwards. As long as he gets to kill you, you know, that's fucking hell. That short scene as well just brings out the malevolence, you know, in the brutality of this killer.
Oh yeah.
Who takes pleasure in what he's doing, because there's no if, buts, or maybe. He takes pleasure and he's getting frustrated that he can't move on to the next point. And then the bit where he goes, I've got you now, naughty boy. You know, he's like glee, happiness that he gets to move on to the next stage. A fucking evil. I mean, this is, and I don't like using the term evil. It's so overused nowadays. But this guy,
this definitely is evil.
This guy is pure evil. There's no excuse or reason. You can't. This guy's just pure evil and fucking relishes in what he does. And in that scene, the fact he's naughty boy, I finally got it. Get to kill you now. Get to fucking do it the right way. You know, so excited. Oh god, it's like.
Well, and even like the end, like he's like, usually I try to make it fast. With you, I'm gonna make you suffer. It's like, God damn, he's like really getting into this.
Yeah, I'm well, wait at the end, but I'm surprised something didn't happen. But I think that would have been too far for this. But it was fucking gross to proper like fucking rape and stuff. You know what I mean? If he had I wouldn't have been surprised in this movie if he fucking horse one into him.
Yeah. Well, and it was like sort of hinted at this whole time, like there might be a sexual aspect of this.
Yeah. No, I mean, that just builds up the tension even more. It's just like, oh fuck, this is this is what Freddy Krueger could have been if they hadn't watered it down. So after that, he just straight out fucking decks him as well. And knocks him out, you know what I mean? He straight out fucking punches the shit out of him, just fuck you, doof.
Yeah,
I'm like,
pretty brutal.
this is, I can't say it enough, it's fucking amazing to see that, you know, just that level of shock of, holy shit. Now, I hope they don't overplay this. This is a standalone movie. This is, you're going to need to pull this out of the bag once or twice. You need to go and do something else. Don't overuse this. This can't become normal. Because that's the whole point of it. It's so shocking.
Yeah.
Not normal. That's the whole point of the horror. The horror is, fuck, this is wrong. You know what I mean? That's what horror is all about. Making that wrongness inside. You're like, fuck. I haven't felt that in so long. You know, in a movie, just actual holy shit. But yeah, he knocks him down, and then this is what the story. This is the only thing. It's hard to describe, but the stuff with Gwen's still going on. But we've kind of described. There's nothing new happens. She just gets more pieces of the puzzle.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to talk about in this setting, but in the movie, it doesn't break. But there's nothing new. She keeps getting more pieces of the puzzle. The house. Some of the ghosts try and visit her, but they can't talk to her directly.
Well, and it's crazy too because this is where the two stories merge, and it's not like a figurative merge, like it's a literal merge. We get the fourth child calling, right? It was the fourth one.
Vance.
Yeah, so that's when. Oh yeah, it was the third one. So yeah, that's when Vance starts talking to him.
No, he's the fourth one.
Saying like nonsensical shit, and then we find out later that the nonsensical shit is Finney is catching the conversation between Gwen and Vance in her dream.
Yeah.
And that was fucking crazy.
That's what I said. There was such a danger that this could just spiral out. You know, the three plot lines could just fucking spiral out or become a convoluted mess. But holy shit, this is so tight. And this is where the timeline, you know what I mean? Because we're getting a wee bit of separate timeline because Gwen's operating obviously this plane from a different angle, and she's not getting. It's not like 100%, you know, dial in straight. But yeah, Gwen's reaching out. She's actually starting to get in touch. I think Vance is the first ghost, and it shows as well because he's not a nice kid. He's a fucking hoodlum.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, we go back to that scene and because when oh my god, Finney, wake up, Colin. When Finney's talking to Vance, he's like, "I was afraid of you." And that's where I think, fuck, if he got you, what chance do I have? You know, you're the tough kid, and then you see the whole scene with the pinball machine, he just wails out another kid. Like, on the spot and gets arrested. Like, holy shit. Like, this guy's not going after, he's not particularly... We don't know how he's selecting his victims, because we get no insight into the killer whatsoever.
The only thing, like, it kind of just seems like it's convenience.
Opportunity. So he's just going after kids, and that's another thing about this movie, because you know why they always try to explain the monster and give a reason for it and stuff. I'm sick of that. Just having a monster for the sake of it, you know, and you don't hear about his poor background or why he's just this is just a guy picking on kids, and it just happens to be.
You don't need it.
No, this just shows there's more than enough storyline going on here without that as well. That would have just complicated matters. But the fact that they chose a tough kid as well as the smallest ones, there's no in between or method, or they don't all share a trope, and that makes it even more horrifying because all kids are in danger and not just particular type.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean, don't hide all the redheads, if that makes sense, you know, because that's not the way it works. Anyone's in danger, but then see Vance and he's like losing it, and yeah, the first conversations are like he's not talking to Finney, he's actually talking to Gwen.
Yeah.
And that's just so brilliantly done, and we didn't get it at the start. We thought he was just, you know, just so full of rage and anger, and he was the first one that was caught. Is that right? Because they don't ring in sequence of when they were caught. Vince was actually the first child to go missing. So you actually think that he's the one lost reality more because he's been the longest, but no, it's actually something else going on. Yeah, and then he tells him about the wall. That was actually a hard scene. Because we'll actually see Finney, and he's just digging for his life. And he's been piling the dirt, putting it down the toilet, and making sure it doesn't clog, and being really smart, and for a kid, really pushing the boat out. You know what I mean? Ingenuity that he's shown is above that of anybody his age, but he's still a child. Which is why I'm saying I'm sick and tired of these 30-year-old children, high school kids, you know, the movies. Because it just is not believable, but this kid really sells it. But when he gets through the refrigerator, oh my god.
That shit, your heart just fucking sinks.
It did. I'm like, holy shit. I actually was invested. And it's been so long since. Normally, any other movie tries to do this, I'm just like, yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, it's going to happen. But this, I was genuinely gutted. So he digs through the wall into the back of the refrigerator, the freezer, and gets through, and then he can't get through the door because they're sealed. And you were gutted. You're like, oh, fuck, that's not right.
Well, and then he loses his shit, too. Like, it's like, yeah, no, Billy, bud, like, I'd be there, too.
Yeah, just fucking, that's a bit that broke him. Just fucking, there's no way I'm getting out of this. Because he'd already tried to climb, because it, who told him about the phone cable, the cable? It was Vance, wasn't it? He was taking out the cable?
No, that wasn't Vance. That was,
Finney told him about the floor tile.
Was it? I think it was Billy.
Was it Billy was doing it as well? Is that why it was twice? I mean, another call back. So, warned him about the Naughty Boy game, and then was telling him about the cable he was trying to get out. Yeah, all this is swapping into the final act. Do you know what I mean? It was so well done. Like, even the bits with the ghost, it wasn't just contrived. We couldn't see where the plot was going, or how he was going to eventually, if he was going to get out, because this movie could have went either way.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean, you just don't know. Everything's working, but at the same time, you know what I mean, the way this guy's built this setter, and just, he's not even doing anything. He's just built the setter in such a way that that's it. You're screwed until he decides what he's going to do. Police have already been there and moved on, so that aspect's gone, if the police coming back.
Man, and that shit, that was so fucking disheartening when she finally figures out the house number, everybody shows up, and there's nothing there, really.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh man. But then, of course, the one cop sees that there's a basement. And then that's when it really just all fucking goes to shit.
Yeah, that was weird. But like, after he breaks, I mean, this is where Robin tries to pick him up again. You know, Robin calls. And we see this whole, alright, step back, do this, do that, fight, you know, picks him up, gives him motivation. I mean, the fight the will. At that point, Finney was just giving up. He was just like, fucking kill me, I don't care, I'm done, you know. And we've all hit the wall. We've all been through physical stuff or things in life where sometimes you just hit the wall and you're like, I'm done. Can't nothing more in the tank. So I felt that was really that scene I think was the hardest for me, where he just gave up. I think that was the hardest scene, where he just fucking I was with him, you know what I mean? It was like, and that's where Robin, and the fascinating thing about Robin was he's a tough kid. He's like brutal, you know what I mean? We saw from the fight, we saw the sort of calculated way in which he does it. He's only the tough kid because he feels like he needs to be, because he doesn't want to be bullied. And unfortunately, to stay in the top game, once you become that, you know, you become a target because somebody else wants to take your spot. And he's just accepted that position, but he's actually a caring kid.
Yeah.
And he wants to get on with life, you know, because even when he asks Finney for help with maths, you know what I mean, he's humble as well, so this is a good dude, you know what I mean? So he's just the right sort of character to come in at that point and then pick Finney up again. And then this is where it starts to accelerate. This is the last day. This is the last phone call. This is it. If you don't do it, you're dead. No, I mean, that was... Oh.
Yeah, I was pretty goddamn intense.
Yeah, and I was with it. That's the thing. This is the first movie in a long time where I've been with the plot going, it is the last day. Is this going to happen? I don't know. I figuratively, I can't figure this out. I can't guess. I miss that. You know what I mean? I'm not able to guess the ending. I have no idea where this is going to go. And you're with it with the tension the whole way around. And then Gwen, the ghosts are starting to like really push. Here, come get me. You know, she finds the house, rings the police. The fact she's able to ring the police and they're...
Well, and shit, the way she like finds it, that was the scare that actually got me.
The second one, yeah, that's the two jump scares.
Are just right there.
Yeah, that was the other one that got me. Like I said, this movie got me twice.
That was hilarious too, because it was like the ripple effects in the audience. Like you just watch everybody jump, but it's like going down the aisle.
I didn't, because I had a fucking whole cinema to myself. There was like 12 people and you couldn't... I didn't give a shit about them. And like, there was like 3 rows before someone else was even in the seat. There was only like 3 people. And someone over there, I'm just like, oh, I'm loving this shit. And then they put an ad up in the cinema as well, but you can book the entire thing for 180 quid. I'm like, no, I'll just keep going to horror movies in the afternoon. Save myself fucking a couple $100. I can live with this.
I did that once. I took everybody to go see Gremlins for Christmas as a work gift or work party. That was fucking fun. I kind of wish that cinemas here were still doing that.
Yeah, do you know that time we went to see we booked at our place for Vampire Hunter D? That was a fun night.
God, man, I miss that theater so much.
Oh, is it gone?
And what's that?
Is it gone?
Well, so the original owner ended up selling the place, and then some dude got it right at the beginning of COVID.
Oh shit!
So that's about as far as that's gone.
Oh man,
I don't know if it's ever gonna come back, which is a real shame because I love that place.
God, that was more people need to know. That's just a fun night. Just fucking. Yeah. God, I was more of that. Oh God, I was so drunk. I actually lost time. That's the worst I've been. I lost time from leaving the cinema the next morning.
Oh yeah, dude, I don't remember getting home that night.
Oh, dude, I remember speaking to Adam going, did you get the stuff out of my house? What happened between? And he's like, do you not remember? I'm like, no. Oh, I was working next morning too. I was fucking bits. Like I should have got sacked that day. I was still drunk in work.
Yeah,
that's where you find the reserves and you're pushing through, because that was such a fun night though. But
that was so good. Well, especially because it's like, oh no, the other movie we were gonna watch, we can't watch it because Cameron's VCR broke. Well, do you guys want me to put on Rocky Horror Picture Show? It's like, fuck yeah, we do.
NDB.
Oh,
yeah, that's when it just descended into chaos.
Yeah, that was when the party fucking happened.
Yeah, that's when you need to, honestly, folks, if you have mates, rent the cinema. Honestly, if you can, rent the screen. Someone lets you bring your own booze and stuff, and just, it's such a fun experience. And that's what we were saying last year as well, you know, before things started opening up again. Just so miserable, just something was missing. And there's something about going to the big screen, and that's why I hope people don't forget and support your local cinema, because it's a different experience, and people need to remember again what that's all about. Because this movie as well, I'm glad I saw it on the big screen first, because the next time I watch it, it'll be just to pick up plot points and go over it. But having that experience of the big screen and the sound, which, yes, you can replicate in your home, but if you've got neighbours, you can't, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Unless you invite all your neighbours round, which would be a bit cramped in the living room, but you know what I mean? You can't replicate the experience, and that's what... The music was very subtle in this. The sound effects were very subtle, but it was enough. This wasn't a flashy bang bang CGI special effects type of movie, but the atmosphere, being immersed in the big screen, really helps.
Definitely.
And that's why it got me twice with the jump scares. I don't think it would have got me at home. if I'm honest. I don't think those jump scares would have got me if I was just watching on the TV.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But definitely in the cinema, being immersed and just being along this plot, you're with it.
Oh yeah.
So we're getting close to the end now. We're like, Gwen's found the house. She runs back. She's got the direct dial for the detective. They all friggin' come screaming around. Max is when he plays his second role, isn't it? Because he's like looking at the plot, and then all of a sudden the penny starts dropping. Like, this guy's...
It hits, and he's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, it's here. Like, imagine being in your house. I don't know what the... Like I said, we don't know any context. Is he actually just staying over for a bit? Or is this their dynamic? I don't... He must have just been staying over, because you can't live in a house permanently and not...
Well, that's what he had said, was that he was visiting.
Yeah.
When the detectives first came in.
But I honestly thought at one point it was going to be a second character, it was like a second personality, or we're going to maybe see a bit of a split, but it's actually, no, he's a legit brother of this guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, he's in the house, but the fact he had enough time to set up this big chart and stuff, and getting coked out of his eyeballs, just makes me wonder, how long's he there for?
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So, we'll get no context, but Max is just a plot device. That's it, that's my annoyance about this movie. Max is just a plot device. It's the only contrivance in this whole thing is his character. It's the only bit I think they could have done maybe a bit better, but would have overcomplicated things. They would need just a simple plot device in this aspect to move things along.
Yeah.
You know, and it's...
Yeah, no, I bought his character. It was necessary. I think if they would have gave him more story, it just kind of would have been too much.
Or if they'd written him out and tried to do it another way, would have made it more complicated. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
I'm
a bit confused. You know what I mean? A bit torn about how I feel about him. Do you know what I mean? I don't know whether having it is this a case where, because I think we've seen so many shit movies and all the characters are plot devices, where actually having a character just being used as one is a bit of a novelty. And being openly so, this guy's just here to point at things. You know what I mean? That's his only job. Okay. But he's the one that discovers the basement. And he's like, oh shit, goes down and he finds Finney. He's like, hey man, dude, that 70s hippie type talk. And then that's where it escalated. Fucking, the grabber was at work. I would have liked to have seen a scene with the grabber, I think, doing his clown routine.
Mm.
I think I would have liked to have seen that. I'm actually out with like kids, doing his day job. I don't know. I think it would have been funny to.
I don't know. I agree. It would have been funny, but at the same time, it's like it adds another level of mystery to him that we don't know what the fuck his motivations are, what his well, we kind of know what his motivations are, but we don't know like what his proper, above ground life is. We don't know anything about him other than that he is fucking brutal.
Yeah, he's almost like a force of nature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean that's the best way to describe him. Just like a force of nature. He's just not.
Yeah.
Hard, but I just like I said, there's so much there you want to grab. But then again, when we're in the movie, you want more. You know what I mean? It's just one of these movies. You want more. But yeah, he's heading back. You see him going around the department store picking up his duct tape and his the sheeting and stuff. Which you'd think in that town like that, if anybody goes, I know it's a joke now. If somebody like fucking appearing with saws and fucking duct tape and plastic sheeting, you'd be like, "What are you up to?"
Mm-hmm.
But he's just doing it and racing back because he's pumped up. Like, even the fact that he's racing back, he's not doing it out of urgency. He's doing it out of excitement.
Yeah.
He's racing back because he's like, today's the day. I'm going to kill this wee bastard. I'm going to really love it. Then that's where the bit Max is there. He's talking. He's just having a freak out because there's a kid fucking locked in the basement, and it's all come in. And that scene with the axe.
That axe to the head was so fucking beautiful.
No messing about, just thunk. He's like,
and then just to be like, you made me do that, you fucking asshole. Now I'm gonna fucking torture you.
Yeah, because what did the kid do? Because just there, like, Stephen, so obviously the brother, they wouldn't have been living together then because obviously he has just popped up and it's just been an inconvenience. But it goes to show as well, if he's been there for a while, did he still go ahead and kidnap the kid before the brother arrived? Because the brother's had enough time to like put his stupid chart and shit, and the other ones just sat and let him do it. You know what I mean? Not even got annoyed. Like, this is a pure psychopath. This is somebody who's actually psychotic, doesn't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
He's let his brother come in while he's still got a kid, and he didn't change his routine. Where was his brother when he's waiting for Naughty Boy? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's you know what I mean, that's like I said, that's why the Max character kind of baffles me a bit. Because how's only at that moment he twigged on what the hell's going on? But he didn't last anyway. Like when he twigged on, I was like, right, fuck you can't let you live. Dunk.
Yeah. That shit, God, that was so damn funny.
Let's talk about the dog. Oh my god, that's been a while since I've seen an actual dog has frightened me. Like, you know me and petting puppies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That dog's a beast.
Man, I was so nervous. It's like, God damn it, don't do anything to the dog. Don't kill the dog, don't hurt the dog, just leave the fucking dog alone.
Oh, it was the same with the Labrador. I was worried then, but he didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Paperboy.
Yeah, that was I was pretty scared with that too. It's like, just leave the fucking animals alone. Always, people want to, like, they do it just to push buttons. Like, oh, this is gonna fuck you up. Let's kill this animal.
But then it has the opposite effect. It comes up.
Just leave them the fuck alone.
Yeah, in this case he didn't. He's not interested. The Labrador was sitting there when he kidnapped Paperboy. Griffin, wasn't it? Yeah, Griffin was Paperboy.
Something like that.
No, Billy was Paperboy. Sorry, second one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Billy was Paperboy. Yeah, and this dog, he just basically has it there to make sure he doesn't get out. And then this is where we see the whole plot come together. So he's got the phone, he's ready. He had the hole dug and covered with the carpet. Just, it all played out. And in fairness, like, there's no way the kid should have beaten him. Mm-hmm. Which is true, because it was, you know what I mean, if you had went head to head with him, he wouldn't have won.
Yeah.
And the kid still had enough gumption, you know what I mean, he had set the trap, he set the tripwire with the cable. So he didn't use it the way the kids told him to use it, if that makes sense.
Well, see, I don't know. That's where I'm kind of on the fence, because I think they all knew that if you line up the dominoes the right way, they all fall into place properly. So I kind of feel like
it was such a gamble.
They all told him that shit for a reason.
Yeah, this is where we see it all.
Even the grating, in the window grating, like, he threw that shit in the hole for a practical reason, like, because he had to hide it. But that was set up so that it incapacitated the guy.
Yeah, broke his. Oh, that was rough as well. So, like, the effects are minimal.
They didn't show too much of it. Like, they showed just the right amount of, like, you know, ankle bending in. But they didn't show, like, an exposed bone or anything. I think that would have just been over.
Yeah, they've done really well the effects in this, but yeah, he falls in the hole. He gets tripped over with a tripwire, and then Finney just starts wailing on him with the telephone. Mm-hmm. I love the way Robert told him anyway to pack the telephone with dirt. Mm-hmm. Like, those analog telephones are heavy. If you remember them, they're brutal anyway. They're base, but actually packing it with dirt to make it more of a weapon was, like, that was clever.
Mm-hmm. Well, my favorite part of that whole shit was, like, as he's sitting there choking him out with the cord, the phone rings and he puts it up to his ear, and it's
for you.
Yeah, and it's God, what's his name? The first kid. All like, yeah, he's got a golden arm or some shit. Just snap. Like, God, that was so good.
Yeah, it was just that whole scene. Like, it was still, it didn't take away. All of a sudden, Finney didn't turn into like a super martial artist. He was still as he was. He just had more confidence, and he was using what was already in him. That was the whole point of this. It was actually, he was going through the furnace. He's going through the crucible, so to speak, and getting smelted into something new. Just so clever.
Yeah.
But that was the other genius bit as well, because after that was done, you know what I mean, he fell, he broke his ankle, he just, like, the guy still had fight in him, but because of the phone he was able to actually get some good shots in, and then finally, when he went to jump over him, that's when he ended up using the cord. It wasn't intentional, but just, it was the only way he was going to get out. He couldn't let this guy go. He had no idea really where he was, if he was going to get help, or if this guy got away. Would he come back for him? Most definitely would. You know what I mean? This guy's locked on him, so he kind of knew it was fight or flight, so to speak. You know, he had to end this guy. Like, imagine knowing that at that age, that's the only way forward to get out of this.
Right.
But yeah, even digging the hole in the wall into the back of the freezer made sense. Because he had the dog chained up so he couldn't get out. So, guess what? I just defrosted some steaks last night. Isn't that convenient?
Right.
Like, it's just the way... Was it pieces of the puzzle? Did they know the whole game, or... And that's what the supernatural aspect is so...
That's kind of like my take, is that they did know.
Or were each of these guys trying to get out in their own way, and this was all meant to happen? So they formed pieces of the puzzle, so they almost had to die for this guy to end. Do you know what I mean? There's so many questions, you know, and just beautifully... and that's how you know you've got a good movie, is you're asking questions about it and you're still thinking about it. Mm-hmm. Like, you're not just walking out going, huh? Which...
Yeah, and that's something that's really lost on modern storytelling, is answering every question. It's like, not every question needs to be answered.
That's why you get fandoms, because fandoms speculate over a movie and what it means, and that's where the conversations happen, and that's how your movie goes beyond the opening weekend. Because I think a lot of the things are like, oh, must get the opening weekend. It's like, no, you're still going to make money off this. If this movie's still around in 20 years' time and people are still buying the fucking DVDs, still buying the collector's set, or networks are still buying it to put it on. Do you know what I mean? That's, the people are so tunnel visioned, and these idiots in Hollywood, that they think it's all about the opening weekend, and they think that's it, that's all the movie has to do to be a success. Like, no, sometimes businesses don't make profit for a year, 2 years after a project's done. Manufacturing firms sometimes don't see the profit until like the next fiscal year, and they put everything in the first one. You know, that's reality. These fuckers just, and that's why they make so much shite. But it's now happens in the opposite effect. People are just switching off. Like, this is the first movie in a while I've actually been emotionally involved in.
Right.
And I loved it. I genuinely loved the experience. And that's it. You know, yeah, he throws the steak of the dog. He goes out. Gwen's there, like, across the street. Like, there's definitely money to be made in the old serial killing clown game. Like, keeping two houses in the go and one just empty for your bodies. Are you getting feedback?
I just broke up for a second.
Alright, yeah, I thought that. I was just getting you, like... I was saying, when he comes out of the house and Gwen's are on the opposite side of the street...
Oh my god, dude, that shit was so just... That was a heavy fucking scene, because there's all the chaos of, oh my god, we found the kids, just everybody's rushing in. And she never lost sight of what the hell she wanted. And, god, that was just so beautiful. And then for her to just be attached to him the whole fucking time, like not letting go of him as the cops are getting him away. Man, that was...
Yeah. Even the scene with the father, that was a really good scene. Mm-hmm. I mean, they bring the father and he just breaks down in front of them, just begs forgiveness for everything. You know...
It was... Like, seriously, that was like the heartwarming ending that it should have had. It was so goddamn good.
Yeah, can't say more about it. It was just so well done. The fact that he even came out, you knew he was changed. They actually got the character. And then he stepped out of the house. He was a different boy. Mm-hmm. He had now went from boy to man. You know, he's been reforged. You knew he's not the same kid anymore. Which you can't go through something like that and not be changed. Right. I hate these movies where they go through traumatic events and it's like they just brush it off. What was that one we watched with the girl going through the Inquisition? And she got brutally tortured and then fucking was round fucking sword swinging like 10 minutes later. We reviewed it like, that was ages ago. It's one of the first ones we did.
Yeah, fuck, I don't remember.
Do you remember she was captured by the Inquisition and they were torturing her for being a witch? And they'd actually done the fucking egg thing where they'd actually shoved it and fucking like brutalised her. And then 10 minutes later she just shook up and she's being starved to death as well, and bread and water. We talked about it.
Yeah, I don't know.
And she just shook it off, and then she's round fucking ninja flipping and fucking beating the guards up.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank. I don't know.
Oh god, that was it. No, I mean, those sort of movies I'm pissed off with. Because you don't go through that and not change. You know what I mean? And you actually see the change here at the end of this. And then even that bit, they could have ended it there. But even that wee bit of him walking back into school again was worth. It wasn't a wasted scene.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, I heard he did this, I heard he did that, and he's like not telling anything. He's just like, nah, you no longer matter to me. And the three bullies are like knocking near him.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that was funny. And then the final scene of, "Hi, Finny." It's Finn. It's like, yeah, there's the change.
Yep. That was it, and you know, fuck, I love this movie. I love this movie. It was so good. And actually, it's been so long since I've actually been emotionally drawn into something. I've missed it. I've missed that actual being invested in the plot, suspending disbelief and just stepping into a journey for a couple of hours. God, I hope this is the pendulum swinging back.
Same, because it's like we really don't get highbrow, for lack of a better term, story, except for with, you know, like A24 type stuff. And I mean, this is Blumhouse. This is as, I guess, for lack of a better term, like as dumbed down as it gets. So like it was nice. It was refreshing, and I hope that they start going this direction with stuff.
You can have a mix. You know what I mean? You can have your popcorn flicks. Because sometimes you need a bit of that, just switch off. But, you know, in the horror, you've got your slasher movies. That's what they're for. Just a bit of dumb fun. Have a laugh. But you need something to actually get you invested. You know what I mean? You need different experiences going to movies. That's the whole point of the experience. And I'm just tired, and this is what I've been banging on about for ages now, that it just lost its way. I really hope this is coming back. You know, we've seen some improvements this year with some of the stuff we've watched. But I don't want to be that person that just goes, oh, everything was better in 1980 and I'm never leaving that decade. Do you know what I mean? I'm not that type of person, never have been. I don't want to become that type of person.
Yeah, no, it's fucking miserable.
Yeah. I want to go and see new stuff. I want to remember what was good and bad about the old stuff. Because not everything, as we've demonstrated many times, is not this jewel in the crown we all thought it was. You know what I mean? So there's some shitty stuff put out there over the years. That's just the way it goes. But we need more of this. Definitely. Please. And I really hope this movie does well. It'll be interesting to see how it does. And it'll be interesting to see the fallout as well, because I know the sort of weak, flaky types, the Scream fans, you know what I mean, they'll not like us. Be too complicated for them.
Probably.
Yeah, Scream fans won't like us. They'll be like, or what else is the Final Destination types, you know what I mean, they'll not enjoy this.
Hey, I like Final Destination.
Yeah, but it has this
Stupid and it's fun.
yeah, it has its place, but the people that expect that's all horror is are not going to enjoy this movie. They're going to be disturbed.
Yeah.
And I actually felt disturbed, and it's been such a long time that it's a really eerie feeling of an actual just stuff on a screen, especially when you're involved with horror for so long. You can become immune to it, so it's good to actually have a movie comes in and goes, whoa, you're not as good as you think you are. Whack, have some of that. Anything else to add? I think we're really.
Yeah. We talked about this movie longer than the movie ran, so I'm pretty sure we covered it.
Lovely. Well, thanks very much, folks. Hope you enjoyed this. We certainly did. Go check the movie out. Seriously, it's well worth your time. Go see it in the cinema.
Definitely.
See it before it comes home. Get out there. It's worth a night out. Honestly, and you'll really have a good time. Right, I suppose that just leaves us to say thanks to June's contributors. Christopher Locke, Eugene McLean, Brianna Malloch, and Mark Tullius. Thanks very much, folks, for contributing to our other segments. Of course, you want to check us out, folks. Got our YouTube channel with loads of other platforms. Go to our website, it's all there. And until next time, keep it creepy, keep it horrific.